before you leave. And everyone, I've also brought some handouts on bullying, teasing, child management, 20 ways to boost your baby's brain power, the truth about lying. So please feel free to help yourself to handouts. So please sign in. Also, I brought a handout on Love and Logic Parenting Group that we have here. So feel free to attend and fill out. But make sure you're here for the parenting group before you leave to sign in. Okay? That's it. Thank you.
Okay. So that was the exciting part to me, was that so many kids wanted to be on this panel, and it was also the heartbreaking part, that there were so many kids who were being bullied or have experienced that or watched that, and just aching to tell their story and speak out and be heard. And I don't want to cut any of the kids off. We're supposed to end at 7:30, and I know people have things to do, so if you have to leave, you have to leave. But if it goes on a little bit, I'm not going to stop them from speaking, and I actually had to stop letting kids be on it because I want to give each one their time. So, okay, so let's see, I had a little thing I just, I'll just read my things. So we're going to start with the myths that you hear about bullying and that I've heard about bullying when I started telling people that I know or people in passing that I was going to do this thing. And just off the top of my head, bullying's been around forever. Kids just need to toughen up, and I was just appalled at that. Because maybe it's been around forever, but that doesn't mean it's right. It doesn't mean it's hurtful. I had, personally, in about 6th grade, I developed sooner than, surprisingly, than all my friends. They were saying that I was fat because I had the first bra in 6th grade. To this day, and there's several people in here that know me, I have this complex about what I call my pooch right here. And I think, why do my thighs spread so wide? Okay, I'm almost 49 years old. I weigh 107 pounds. Logically, I know I'm not fat. But just those few statements from 6th grade have stuck with me this whole time, and my self-confidence in that area, I'm hoping to get over it, but I haven't yet. I still walk all like this and everything. So it's, you want me? Yeah, thank you. So it's very damaging, even just words. Words, physical things. And bullying is so much more. Bullying is not just words and physical, but it's exclusion. Don't talk to that person, or don't include them in games or parties or the group, don't talk to them and things like that. So we're going to start off with some myths. Bullies suffer from insecurity and low self-esteem. And when I address those, this is all what research has shown, that most have average or above average self-esteem. What they suffer from is not insecurity and low self-esteem, it's from aggressive temperaments, a lack of empathy, and poor parenting. And as soon as I read that, I meant to say this before. This is just general, it's not specific. This is what research has shown. So if your kid, if you find out they're a bully, I'm not saying it's your fault. I'm not saying that, because we do the best we can. But this is just what it has shown statistically. Just ignore them and the bullying will stop. That doesn't happen. Adults need to step in and address these behaviors. Boys will be boys, they'll outgrow it. That's not true either. Bullying is seldom outgrown. 60% of boys identified as bullies in middle school commit at least one crime by the age of 24. Kids can be cruel about physical differences. It's just the way it is. Well, you know what? And I was really surprised when I went to the trainings and started doing all this research. The physical differences, or the things that you would think would make someone stand out as a possible target, that might attract the bully, but it's really their response to that initial bullying attack which decides if it's going to continue as an ongoing bullying thing. So most victims are chosen because they're sensitive, anxious, and unable to retaliate. Kids see this, so they go for it. The victim needs to learn to stand up for themselves and deal with it. Okay, now, victims are usually younger and physically weaker, and they cannot deal with the situation themselves. And we're going to get into more things, but the biggest thing is adults. Adults need to step in. There needs to be consequences to these bullies. The teachers need to get involved. The staff of the school needs to get involved. Too often they just turn their head for lots of reasons. The biggest one that I've heard is they're a great athlete. They're on our team. They're a football player. They're this and that, so let's just turn our head. We don't want to lose a football game. That's not going to fly. It's not going to end. These kids need the adults to step in. parents in Teen Light and go and confront the school staff and say, this is wrong, you guys need to start doing something. Bullying only affects a small number of students. 25% of US students are victims of bullying, 25%. Other myths that bullying myths. Bullying involves and impacts only the bullying victim, and that is not true. In 75% of bullying incidents, at least 4 other peers were present, as witnesses, bystanders, assistants, reinforcers, or defendants. Sticks and stones will break your bones, but words can never hurt you. Victims of bullying are prone to depression, suicide, and other mental health problems throughout their lives. And then the other ones we've heard, being bullied builds character. That doesn't even make any sense, but that's what people say. Bullying is just part of growing up. You must have done something to deserve it. You just have to toughen up. I was bullied in school and I turned out fine. Hit him back, he won't bother you again. None of those are true. They're all just myths and they don't work. Okay,
Can I give an example that
Yeah.
just I thought about when you were saying that? So you guys know the whole thing with puppies, some of you like animals. So do you, if there's a pup, let's say somebody's mean to animals and there's a puppy there, well, and there's a big German Shepherd, big black German Shepherd, which animal's gonna get kicked? Which animal would you kick if you wanted to hurt, you had a desire to hurt an animal, you were frustrated, would you kick the German Shepherd or would you hurt the puppy? In general. Well, either. This is a symbolic thing. Probably we would hurt the puppy, something that couldn't retaliate. And that's kind of what Shannon was saying. The kids that are bullied tend to be the kids that are more shy, that are more withdrawn. Probably we're not going to pick on the big black German Shepherd, but if we want, I have a dog that's aggressive with animals, not people, but animals. So what do people tell me to do? When you have a big dog that's aggressive and you take it to behavior management school, what do they do with it? What do they do with animals to teach them to stop being aggressive?
Teach them new behaviors.
They teach them, they take control. They take control of the animal. I mean, they put it on a leash, they jerk it, they tell it no. So that's kind of the whole thing when Shannon was talking about parenting getting involved. And it's a scary thing to do because these are our kids that we're working with. But the research shows that that's the only way that you can intervene.
And in talking to different families and talking to the parents, they try. They try to get involved. They're not listened to. The principals, they don't listen to them. The teachers, the counselors, they poo-poo it or they say they'll look into it, don't do anything, and they don't, they just don't do anything. So, so here's some statistics that really shocked me and made me very sad. 15% of all students are stressed by peer abuse. 85, keep this in mind, this is important. 85% of abuse takes place in public. 6% of children admitted to bullying others once or twice in the past week. This is national. 17% of students admitted to bullying someone online. Admitted. Okay. 42% of kids are bullied online. 60 to 70% of middle and high school students have experienced bullying. 60 to 70%. Now people say it's been around forever. I know that when I was in middle school and grade school, it was not 60 to 70%. It is getting worse. It is getting worse. 20 to 30% of students report having bullied or been part of bullying during the current school year. 8 to 15-year-olds rank bullying as more of a problem in their lives than violence. 5th through 12th graders are more concerned about emotional and social cruelty from peers than anything else. 6 of 10 teenagers witness bullying in school at least once a day. 44% of middle schools across the USA reported bullying problems. 180,000 kindergarten through 12th grade students stay home from school on any given day due to fear of bullying. Okay? Every day across the United States. Only 1/3 of bullying victims report bullying to someone at school. 81% of incidents are not reported to adults. 58% of kids admit to never telling any adult when they have been a victim of bullying. On the playground, statistics say a child is bullied every 7 minutes. 4% intervention by adults, 11% intervention by peers, and 85% no intervention at all. I mean, how upsetting is that? 4%? Even the kids are stepping in more than the adults. And this is the saddest one. As of the point that I did this research, 4,400 kids have committed suicide due to bullying. 4,400. It's not a light subject. It's not, oh, it builds character. Oh, no, it's bad. It's bad. We're losing our kids to this. So we need to stand together and do things, figure things out, make a stand and not accept this bullying anymore. I'm sorry? Cindy? Oh, okay, I thought somebody else. I'm sorry, I can't find this here, so you're going to see me all night going like this. Okay, so now we're going to start with the who of the who, what, where, when, and why. There are three main categories of participants in bullying. There's the kids who bully, the kids who are bullied, and the bystanders or witnesses. And of the bystanders and witnesses, there's some categories in there too. Kids who assist, they don't start it or lead it, but they encourage the bully and may join in. The kids who reinforce, they're not directly involved, but give bullies an audience, often laughing, thereby showing support. Outsiders, they don't encourage or support the bully, but don't defend the victim. They stay out of it, but still may watch. And then you have the defenders, kids who comfort the victim or even come to their defense. Bullying is most common among middle school age children. 44% of middle schoolers report bullying problems, as opposed to 20% in elementary school or high school. Studies show that females are victims of bullying more often than males and are more apt to be cyberbullied. Males are more likely to experience physical and verbal bullying, and females are more likely to experience social and psychological bullying. A lot of times, victims are also bullies, so they feel they can have some power at least sometimes in their lives. So then, now we're going to talk about the different types of, the three different types of bullies. There's the reactive, and this is going to kind of help you look at your kids and give you an idea of maybe if they're going in one of these directions. You have the reactive bully. Emotional, poor impulse control, feels constantly threatened, so being aggressive in their response is okay to them. He looked at me funny, so I responded. They just react. And protective of their space. Then we have the proactive, the calculating and planning. Looks for targets, they're not emotional and deliberate in what they do. Looking to gain something rather than responding to a perceived external threat like the other one, like the reactive one. They want something back, money, domination, possessions, or a reaction out of the victim. The elitist have power, status, usually attractive or great athletes, etc., often ridicule and humiliate others, even in front of staff, but are rarely admonished, see how far they can push limits and want even more power and status. Two types of kids are more likely to bully than others, well connected to their peers, have social power, overly concerned about popularity, like to dominate and be in charge. And then on the other side, you have the more isolated from peers, maybe anxious or depressed, low self-esteem, less involved in school activities, and easily pressured by peers. Other characteristics of bullies are, and you know, I don't like saying bullies, I like to say kids who bully, because we don't want to put labels on anybody, you know, and victims, you know, we like to say target, but it's so interchangeable that I'm probably going to slip up, and it's just actually easier, and because we've been talking like this forever, to say the bully. But, you know, we want to have compassion for the kid who bullies too, because there's a reason behind it, and we want to try to help them too. So when I say that, I don't really mean it, it's just quicker speaking. So, other characteristics of kids who will bully, aggressive or easily frustrated, less parental involvement, have high stress issues at home, judgmental of others, difficulty following rules, have friends who bully, or think violence is cool. And I put in parentheses here, violent music, video games, cage fighting, etc. This is so prevalent and so predominant. And I've been in discussions and debates and arguments about whatever, oh, the music didn't make them go kill them, they already had problems, and things like this. But I'm here to tell you, these video games, these violent, realistic, real things, the music with the words and everything, I'm not saying that it causes these kids to go do things, but it definitely desensitizes. You get desensitized. When you're playing games, as soon as you're out from school, all the way to go to bed, and it's who can you shoot, who can you kick, oh, look at this exploding, oh, this is blood, it's spattering. You get desensitized to real violence in real life. You know, I mean, to this day, I love the Rocky movies, but I still can't watch the actual hitting of the face. I just can't do that. But if I was to play these games all the time, it wouldn't be anything. So all these things contribute to the desensitization of our kids. Okay, now the victims or targets. You may think you have an idea, and we talked about this a little bit earlier, of who may be a target of bullying, and you may be right. But what determines if a student is continually bullied is how they respond to the initial bully attack. Certain characteristics may attract attention of a bully, but how the target responds determines the continuity of it. Targets may have unique characteristics that draw a bully initially, such as ethnic or racial differences, physical build or features of appearance that are different, social or economic status, physical disabilities, mental or scholastic abilities, speech quality, sexual orientation, moral or religious beliefs. And you know, as I was doing this and talking to more people, I got this revelation that, you know, we think about, oh, the kid who maybe is overweight, or the kid who is not so attractive, or the kid who is poor, or whatever, but in the world today, you can't be, and I hate this word, but just, you can't be too ugly, but you can't be too pretty either. You can't be too poor, but you can't be too rich. You can't be too dumb, but you can't be too smart either. Because either one of these things, you have a possibility of getting bullied. Everyone today wants you to be right in the middle and just going along like this. Well, people aren't in the middle. People have their different characteristics, their different strengths, their own different weaknesses and things like that, and it's very hard to stay right in the middle. And that seems to be what it is. It's like you would think that an attractive, pretty girl or something would have lots of friends and not, but they are bullied just as much. Jealousy, oh, you think you're all that, and all these things. I mean, it's impossible to stay right here in the middle, and that's what we're facing today. Youth at risk of being bullied, they're perceived as different from peers. Examples: over or underweight, wear glasses, braces, different clothing, being new to a school. Perceived as weak or unable to defend. Depressed, anxious, or low self-esteem. Less popular and few friends. Don't get along with others, or seen as annoying or antagonizing others for attention. And there's been some examples given of that too. They know that they're being annoying, but they want some kind of attention. Or they tease, or they what, you know, and then they get bullied back, which is not right, but these are the different things that happen. Children report 4 common qualities of those they have seen bullied, which all go to a response that the bully is looking for. And that's the thing. The child who bullies is looking for some kind of response always. Rewards the bully with tangible resources such as lunch money, toys, clothes, games, iPods, shoes. You've heard those stories, shoes and jackets, being beaten and killed sometimes because of their clothes, wanting them. Shows outward signs of distress. This shows that the bully is getting to them. They're less likely to retaliate. They explode on cue by crying, complying, or flying off the handle. They're getting an emotional response. Some common family dynamics of kids who get bullied: overly protective or overly involved parents, lack of independence in the family, non-assertive parents, maybe a scapegoat by siblings.
What's that?
Okay, cool. I'm right on track. I thought I lost my place. So now we have 7 categories of the bystanders, and they are just as much affected. And I met with one of the kids that's going to be on the panel, and their family told this story, and I cried during the time. I just can't get over it. There was a girl in grade school in, I think it was 7th grade. And I wish to this day that I could find her because she was bullied all the time. And I was on this side watching this all the time. Never stood up for her, never defended her. I would join in with the laughing and the making fun. And the, you know, she used to sit in class and do this, you know, so people would look, start making fun, and we'd be like, you know, doing this stuff well. I was able to, at one time, of course in private, so nobody else could see, I went to her and I said, I apologized to her for doing this. But that wasn't, you know, she was still alone. I didn't stand with her, stand by her, or tell my friends, stop it, you know. And it turns out what happened is she had been hit by a car more than one time. And so she talked like this because of some brain damage, and this was an exercise that her doctor gave her to strengthen her eyes. We didn't know that. We were just mean little kids, you know, making fun of somebody who is different. And so that affects me to this day. This is the first time I've been able to tell that story without crying. So bystanders are affected a lot, usually by guilt and shame and regret. And so the 7 categories of bystanders are: first, the assistant and followers, follows the bully and engages but doesn't start. The supporters, observes and supports the bully by watching and verbally encouraging. The disengaged onlookers, watches what happens but does not take a stand or engage in the interaction in any manner. Possible defender, dislikes the bully and thinks they ought to help but don't. The defender attempts to help the target or provides support. Change agent has learned how to identify bullying and takes actions to stop it. And the outsider, a kid who stays far away from the bully-target interaction, but they may see it. Bystanders are negatively affected by bullying. Also, they suffer feelings of guilt for not reporting or helping, develop a sense of weakness or powerlessness because they see this, causes anxiety and fear. The learning environment is poisoned by fear or distraction, and they may become bullies when they see the result and there's no consequences for bullying. Okay, now we're going to talk about, anybody have any questions about anything? Am I going too fast or am I going pretty good? Just rolling along all right? Okay. So now we're going to talk about the what. What is bullying? And what are the types of bullying? Bullying is unwanted, aggressive behavior that is repeated and involves a real or perceived imbalance of power. Imbalance of power is defined as kids who bully using their power, such as strength, access to embarrassing information, or popularity to control or harm others. Bullying includes actions such as making threats, spreading rumors, attacking physically or verbally, and excluding from groups or activities on purpose. So there's 4 types of bullying. There's the verbal, saying or writing mean things, examples teasing, name-calling, inappropriate sexual comments, taunting, threatening to cause harm. Then there's social, involves hurting someone's reputation or social relationships, leaving someone out on purpose, telling other children not to be friends with someone, spreading rumors, embarrassing someone in public. The physical is hurting a person's body or possessions, examples hitting, kicking, pinching, spitting, tripping, pushing, taking or breaking someone's things. And then there's cyberbullying. How many of you guys know about cyberbullying? Ever heard about it? It's hurtful, huh? And the thing about cyberbullying is, and I don't know if I talk about this later on in the book, but with bullying in the physical and when people are around, a kid can go home eventually, if they make it home safely, and be home and get away from it. Cyberbullying, they're never away from it. Happens all the time. A Facebook comment, a fake profile, rumors started, or facts that are embarrassing shared, and then it's there, and people are responding and commenting, and it just never stops. So cyberbullying is rampant. Cyberbullying takes place using electronic technology such as cell phones, computers, tablets, social media like Facebook and Twitter. Text, chat, and websites includes mean texts or emails, rumors or embarrassing facts posted on social networking sites, embarrassing pictures or videos, and fake profiles. Okay. The where. Who, what, where. 90%, okay? 90% of the time, bullying happens where there is an audience. That is the key factor here. The bully wants an audience. They get something out of it. Most reported bullying happens in the school building, but also takes place on the playground, bus, malls, parties. It can happen while a child is traveling to or from school or in their neighborhood, and it also takes place on the internet. The when of it. As previously stated, most bullying happens when a child reaches middle school age. It happens before, during, and after school. With cyberbullying, it can happen 24 hours a day, which never gives the kid a break. And again, almost always happens with an audience. A huge audience. With cyberbullying, everybody's on Facebook. Everybody's seeing it, get notifications, every time something is said, they hear about it. Okay, why? Who, what, where, when, why? There are many reasons why kids bully. Need for attention, revenge, or power. Jealousy, insecure, violence in the home, and or desensitized. Is also bullied, so therefore bullies someone else in an effort to have some sort of control somewhere. Low coping skills, to fit in, to keep the focus off of them possibly being bullied. Aggressive temperaments, and lack of empathy. Okay, so here's the outcomes. The outcomes of bullying. Where's my thing? Okay, good. Here we go. Okay, outcomes. Short-term outcomes. The short-term outcomes for the child who bullies, they report feelings of depression, suicidal ideation, and suicidal behavior at rates well above the general youth population. Short-term outcome of the targets of bullying. Symptoms include physical complaints, absenteeism, reduced academic performance, and active avoidance of particular school activities or locations. Feels alienated, apprehensive, lonely, sadness, depression, or anxiety, and girls may develop eating disorders. And in all the research and trainings and gathering of information I did, that came up again and again and again about girls getting eating disorders. The bystanders, short-term outcomes for the bystanders, they feel helpless, sadness, shame, and guilt for witnessing bullying and not doing anything. This can have a negative impact on self-esteem, causes anxiety and fear and a sense that school is a dangerous and unsafe place. Long-term outcomes for the child who bullies. Without intervention, bullies pose a serious risk to others during their school years and beyond. They're more likely to be involved in criminal acts, domestic violence, and develop lifelong criminal problems. Okay, this is research shows that boys who were classified as bullies in grades 6 through 9, 60% were convicted of one crime and 40% were convicted of 3 or more crimes by the age of 24. So yeah, they don't grow out of it. It just gets worse and worse because it's not addressed. They're getting their needs met, whatever needs that is. Nobody's stepping in. They think they're above and they can just keep doing this and keep doing this. And here comes the crime, and then here comes jail, and here comes prison. Long-term outcomes for the targets of bullying: violent outbursts against students in schools, suffer from depression or low self-esteem well into adulthood, often don't succeed in school and drop out of school at a significantly higher than average rate, more likely to develop eating disorders and substance abuse problems, suicide, relational problems later in life with spouses and children. And the bystanders will be more likely to use aggression in the future when they see no consequences for bullying incidents and can develop a learned helplessness, a sense that they have no power or control over their own lives. So now, what can be done? What can we do? I said a couple things at the beginning, take a stand. Parents, if you're not being listened to, if you've tried to help, look, ask, try, do research, find other parents in the same school, talk to them, get together. If you guys go as united people, a united stand, 10, 12 parents saying, hey, what are you going to do? They're going to have to act. The staff, the school, the board, whoever is going to have to do something. So what can be done? Report bullying and cyberbullying. It is important for students to report any bullying to a parent or an adult they trust. Often kids don't report cyberbullying because they fear their parents will take away their phone or computer. Right? Can't do that. Parents will support their child's reports of bullying and not take away their phones as a consequence. It is important for kids to remember that bullying is wrong and should be handled by an adult. You guys need to go to an adult. I mean, if you've been bullied to this point, you can try to stand up, but you need reinforcements. And a lot of times people think, it's just going to get worse if I tell my mom. It's just going to get worse if I tell my dad and they go step in. But that's not the statistics. That's not what research shows. You guys need adults to step in and make a stand. And then the parents of the kid who's bullying need to be in agreement too and not allow their kid to keep doing that. Don't bully back. It may be difficult to not bully back, but as the saying goes, 2 wrongs don't make a right. Try not to show anger or tears. Either calmly tell the bully to stop bullying or simply walk away. One of the trainings that I went to about this, I wonder if I put it in here. I had so much information to get into like half an hour. One of the examples that they gave was like when the kid starts bullying or saying things, go, you might be right, but I got something to do right now. I'll talk to you about that later, and walk away and kind of. They're not expecting that kind of response. It stops them for a minute. It gives you separation. It gives them time to go, what? And it'll probably cause some laughter by the audience that is always there. Avoid being alone whenever possible. And it's unfortunate that we have to take these steps, but the main thing is to keep safe. Keep yourself safe. Whenever possible, avoid situations where there are no other students or teachers. Try to go to the bathroom with a friend or eat lunch in a group. When riding the bus, sit near the front. If you know a student who likes to bully others is in an area where you normally walk to lunch or class, try to use alternative hallway routes. And that's something that I found over and over and over again with the audience. Because the kid who's bullying is looking for a response. If people are there encouraging him, makes him feel good, makes him feel tough, makes him feel popular. If there's nobody around, if it's just the one-on-one, usually nothing happens. It needs to be seen. One of the things that a school did, not in Arizona, a different state, They made you guys have heard of the Good Samaritan law? I don't even know if we have it here, but I've heard it around. If you see something and you don't report it, you can be in trouble too. This school implemented that. If kids are watching and seeing a bullying incident, and it gets back to the staff that they were there watching and that kid didn't come forward, they have the same consequences as the kid that was bullied. Suspended from school, extra homework, this and that. So, and they stuck by it, and they did it. So what happened? Kids are walking by, some kid starts trying to act all tough and bully. These kids aren't watching, they're gonna go. Because I'm not getting suspended, I'm not getting, so without the audience, nothing happens. So I thought that was one of the greatest ways I've heard to try to control bullying in schools. Remember, report bullying of yourself or other students to your teacher, coach, principal, and or parent. Parents can make a unified stand at the school demanding that staff take action when bullying is reported. Don't give the bully the response they're looking for. Crying, getting mad, giving over your game clothes, iPod, or lunch money. Be physically and verbally assertive, not aggressive. Do or say something unexpected. Like when I said, you might be right about that, but I got something to do right now. Just take them off guard and might even become friends after that, because that's a pretty cool thing to do. Don't throw a bully off their track like that. Strengthen existing friendships or make new ones. A lot of times they target people and continually bullying people who they see that they don't have a social support system, that they don't have friends. Reach out. I know lots of times people are shy and it's hard to make friends. Make friends. If you've got a support system, that goes a long way in helping. I didn't have it there. Okay. Schools can put a bystander rule in place wherein kids who are known to see a bullying incident and do not report it are held as responsible as the bully. No audience, no bullying. Schools can increase supervision in areas where bullying is known to happen. Schools can have consequences for the bully rather than ignoring it. And something that I heard from a kid that I was talking to was he got in trouble. He got in trouble for taking care of himself and getting frustrated and leaving the bullying situation, which was done inside the classroom. And the classroom, not the building, the classroom. The teacher didn't do anything. The kid left out of school. He got in trouble. He got in trouble. Not the bully, not by the teacher, not by the staff, not by the principal. He got in trouble for leaving class. Why did you leave class and how did you get off campus? That's all they wanted to know. What? That just doesn't even make sense. I just don't get it. I'm thinking about going to the schools and telling them how I feel. Excuse me, where's the administration? Let's see.
Shannon?
Yes.
If you'd like to talk to Army.
Oh! You got somebody I can go talk to? Oh, cool. Okay. Okay. They can integrate anti-bullying themes and activities into the curriculum. Maybe think, there's some good teachers out there. There are some really good teachers who are creative, who have good ideas. Make it somehow uncool to be a bully. Do some kind of campaign, do something. I know Danny will be able to do something like that, and there's creative teachers everywhere that they'll get on board. Teachers can take immediate action when bullying is observed. Confront the bully in private. Notify parents of both the bully and the target. And this is adults in schools, and this is all together here. Refer both targets and bullies separately to counseling. Provide protection for the target. Listen receptively to parents who report bullying. Believe the child. Believe the child who's reporting the bullying. Kids can be kind to victims and show support. Report what they saw and stand up for the target. Okay, so here's some common mistakes that you need to avoid. Don't ignore it. Don't think kids can work it out without adult help. Not if it's true bullying. I know all throughout time, and even now, there was a guy and another guy, they both have kind of equal status and equal friends and everything. They get in a fight on the back 40 after that, they're best friends. Yeah, that happens. But normally, if it's bullying, true bullying, the kids cannot work it out without adult help. Don't immediately try to sort out the facts. Don't force other kids to say publicly what they saw. They're too scared. They're scared of retaliation. They're scared of becoming a target themselves. They need to be taken aside. They need to see, out of the presence of everyone. Don't talk to the kids involved together, only separately. Don't make the kids involved apologize or patch up relations on the spot. That's not going to happen. They may fake it in front of you so that they can continue on their way, but it's not going to be real. Don't do, and I went to this four-hour training on this, amongst other things that I did, and the trainer spoke most about this and had a lot of detail about this. Don't do mediation or conflict resolution counseling. The target will feel victimized again having to be in the presence of the bully because there's no conflict to resolve. It's bullying. It is an attack. It's bullying. It's an imbalance of power. There's no conflict to resolve. So there's no reason to get them together in the same room. Now, what can we do to work this out? No, you need to stop, or this is what's going to happen. Okay. Know the warning signs. And like I said, I have a handout there so you can take home because if you're not writing things down, you don't know how to remember all these warning signs. Signs your child may be being bullied. Changes in attitude, behavior, and achievement at school. Lost or damaged property the child does not have a ready explanation for. Changes with friends and social circles. Changes in sleeping or eating habits. No longer expresses interest in school or activities that they used to enjoy. Intense feelings of hopelessness, shame, and depression. Reluctance, avoidance in telling what is wrong or why they are behaving the way they are. Signs your child may be bullying someone else. They have a tendency to solve problems with conflict and violence. Lack of empathy towards students who are bullied. Sexual harassment or homophobic teasing. Problems at school, fights, detention, or in trouble. They're overly competitive and worried about reputation or popularity. And lack of emotional response when they see or hear violence. Doesn't affect them that much. These are just some signs to watch for. And like I said, we've got lots of handouts over there for you guys to take home. So, this out of the way. You guys have any questions about anything? You know, and there's a lot of, and Google is your friend. Google is your friend. There are a lot of bullying websites out there, a lot of bullying organizations, stopbullying.org, and just put in something in the search engine, and there's even support groups, you know, run by kids, interactive, run by kids on the computer, that they can talk and get support and brainstorm ideas together. It will give you the warning signs. It will give you more detailed things of what you can do to stop it. What you can do as a community, what you can do as a parent, what you can do as a kid. So there's all kinds of resources on the internet for that. So thank you. Thank you for listening to me. And now, I would like my panel to come up, please. Sitting here, you right here. Okay. So I would like to introduce Miguel. Miguel. Tatiana. This is Maribel, their mother. This is Isaac and Blake and Marie. Okay, I know her name. I do know her name, but she just likes to be called by a different name. So this is Marie. And they were all brave enough and willing to get the word out and finally speak out about their experiences. I've talked to them about that everybody in here is supportive of them. Everybody in here is here because they're against bullying. I'm really proud of you guys. I want to encourage you to be really honest about what you say. I don't want you to feel embarrassed. I don't want you to feel guilt. I don't want you to feel shame. I don't want you to feel anything because this whole room is here for you guys. Okay? So, let's see. My little cheat sheet here. Okay, so I'm going to just ask you guys some questions to get it going, and if you want to tell more, tell more. Okay, we've got 45 minutes, so you've got some time. If we get done, I would like to have a question and answer thing. Maybe you guys can ask the kids things that you want to talk about, or you guys can share more of what you want to share. So, Miguel, how old are you?
15.
Yeah? You guys here back there?
No.
How old are you?
13.
I coach them, I'm like, okay, because we don't have microphones, you talk like me. Okay. 13,
Yeah.
right? Okay, so what grade were you in when you were bullied?
I'd say like 6th or 7th.
Okay, both or just
Both.
kind of both? Okay. And what happened?
Usually I like being a class clown, and you know sometimes I might say something that's like really funny or might sound stupid, and some people actually just started saying that I was stupid, you know, saying like, you know, you're retarded, why would you say that, you know? So yeah.
What comes next, Mama?
Did you go to anyone for help?
I had actually told my mom, when you mentioned, this bullying panel presentation, she actually asked me if I was ever bullied, and I told her that I actually got called names, but I didn't let it bother me.
So you just kind of pushed your way through it?
Yeah.
Okay. How'd you feel though? How'd it make you feel inside when you were alone?
I didn't really feel anything, I just believe in my heart and in my mind that, nothing they say is true, and I can believe what I want to believe.
Okay. Okay, and that's how you dealt with it? Okay. Did it affect your schooling at all, your grades or your attendance?
No.
Okay. Okay, good. So that was your good. Okay. Tatiana, I'm gonna ask you some of the same questions. Okay. So how old are you?
I'm 14.
And what grade were you in when you were bullied?
I was in 8th grade.
Okay, and what happened? What did you do?
I was a new kid at school, of course. I just came from a school, Wilson, and it was a preppy school. Like everybody had their brands, and I did too. And I went to the school, and there was this one particular girl that rolled in a gang. It's called the Hello Kitty Gang, Vicious. And she used to always make fun of me because I had the name brand clothes, and I just had this personality that I made friends like that, just right off the bat. And she got really jealous of me. She started this thing where she called me a rich white girl, and not even white, but she would wait until I was alone, because I did have a lot of friends the first day of school, because everybody liked me. I used to roll in a group too, and they were all the popular kids, and a lot of them didn't like her. And when I'd be walking to class, because I was one of those people who wait till for the bell to ring, and I'd be walking to class, and she'd choose to bring her posse of girls who were all in kickboxing, and they used to make fun of me and put me down and be like, you don't belong in this school, you're not everything that you think you are, and it just really started to hurt me. So
And like you said, she brought her posse of friends, right? She wasn't by herself. She needed that audience, huh? Look how bad I am. I'm going to take this girl while you're alone. Right? While you're alone, put you in your place, right? Okay. So did you go to anybody for help?
at the beginning I did, because I thought that I could handle it by myself. But then I started to realize that I started having these thoughts, I wanted to kill myself because it started getting that bad. My grades started to drop.
I started to be scared to go to school, and it was a no boy zone. These girls, when I'd be walking to school, they would start pushing me around and pushing me to the floor and saying that I was worth nothing and I was never going to be anything. I just didn't want to live no more, because it was that bad. It wasn't anything funny to me. Yeah.
Did you get any support or help from the school? Did they do anything for you?
They did not do absolutely anything for me. They told me that, because she started to threaten me that she wanted to fight me. And she wouldn't say it physically to my face, but my friend would tell me. And
the school said that because it was a he said, she said thing, that there was nothing that they could do about it. But one person in particular, her name was B&A, someone had told her that she was, a girl named Alexandra was talking crap about me. And she said she wasn't gonna have it because she and a couple other people knew like the thoughts that I was having. And she went up to the girl that ran in the gang, and she said, if you're gonna talk crap about her, then you better say it to my face, because I'm not gonna let you tear this girl down. And the girl started talking, and B&A, she said, you're only saying that stuff about her because that's how you feel. And the girl took that very offensively, and she swung at her, and B&A punched her, and she got on the floor, and she said, how does it feel to be where she was? And the girl at first didn't get suspended. B&A did because she put her on the floor. But then everybody started like kind of standing up to this one girl, because there was only one. And the girl did get suspended, but it still continued because there was the whole other group. That was just one out of like 10. It was like 9.
So it was another student that stepped in for you, right? Not a staff member, not an adult. Are you in school now, Tuffy? Okay, so this is Maribel. Like I said, this is Tatiana, Miguel's mom. So, my question, who are you? I just told you who she was. Did you know that your kids are being bullied?
Not really. I saw a lot of behavior change. I saw their grades dropping significantly. And when I would ask, what was going on, especially Tatiana, she was very closed off. Very closed off. She didn't want to talk. She would snap. She would yell, leave me alone. I don't want to talk to you. I hate you. There was a lot of that.
Did you try to get any help from her?
I did. I actually went out to the school to talk to the assistant principal, and there was no support. I did call him, and I called the sheriff to file a report because it got to the point where the girl had spoken that she was going to physically come to the house and drag Tatiana out by her hair and beat the crap out of her. And so when it got to that point, I wanted to press charges because it was a threat, against my daughter. And nothing really happened. The sheriff came, asked Tatiana how she was feeling, and when she had said that she had suicidal thoughts, they made me take her to a suicide hospital over at Keno, saying that she needed help for that. And that just made Tatiana even more mad at me, and to the point where she didn't want to tell me absolutely nothing that was going on, because she felt, well, if I tell my mom, she's going to go to the school, the people are going to find out, they're going to bully me some more, I'm going to get angry because it's my mom's fault that all this is happening to me. So she just stayed away from me even more. She didn't talk to me about anything.
So, and you didn't get any support from school?
No. They basically blamed it on her. That she was just making up stories, that it wasn't happening. They brought in all the bullies, and, there was just different stories being told, and they basically called her a liar.
One of the things that I said when I was talking to leave the kid when they're saying they're being bullied. And how did you feel of this?
I was terrified. I was very terrified. I didn't know. I knew what to do, but I didn't know what to do as well. I knew what to do, but then I didn't know what to do because of some pretty damaging things that had occurred to me. And she she's a straight A student, she's very athletic, very sociable, she loves people, she loves meeting people. She fits in everywhere she goes, and just all that was taken away from her. She didn't join any sports, she got all Fs, you know. The only reason why she was able to pass 8th grade was because I wrote a letter to the attendant, the superintendent, telling him the situation. So she just changed drastically. I mean, the innocence was literally taken from her. Her innocence was taken from her.
Hi, Isaac. So, Isaac, how old are you? 13. Can you guys hear? Back there?
Yeah.
Yeah, 13? Okay. What grade were you in when you started getting going?
I'd say around 3rd grade.
3rd grade. Okay. Okay. And what happened?
It just was pretty bad. The most recent was actually so bad. I actually had to walk off campus. I just left the school, just started walking, and I called for my grandmother to pick me up from a store that I walked to. And when I got back to the school, you said this already, but the school just didn't care about why or even what the heck happened or just the meaning of me leaving or anything. They just said, how the heck did you leave the school? They just didn't care at all. Because they thought their school was impossible to leave from. But most recently, a lot of things have happened.
This is a bandit.
Can you tell about what happened in the bathroom when my friend tried to help you?
Oh, well, that's actually what you're saying is about 2 different things. But it happened around the same time. And what happened in the bathroom is these 2 guys, they just, I don't know why they were doing this, don't know why, but they would chase me around the entire school. I mean, we would even pass by staff, and they were all like, I guess they're just playing some sort of game. They thought it was a game. Yes. And I tried to run because I saw people entering the restroom, and I thought they wouldn't get me from there because those guys were tough looking, and I thought I would be safe. So I ran and I tried to hide. They found me. They pushed me to a wall and were repeatedly throwing me against the wall. Repeatedly and repeatedly. And I just, later that day, I had to leave to use the restroom, and there were these stairs because the other restroom was locked. I had to use one on the other side of the campus. I was walking down the stairs, and suddenly my legs just gave out. I just fell downstairs, and thankfully someone saw it and got me to the nurse's office. But But yeah, stuck in the nurse's office for most of the day. I left to the last 15 minutes of school and went back home. The other incident when my friends actually stepped in and saw what was happening, this girl, she was one of the popular girls, and she had a lot of friends, and they would just be punching me repeatedly and kicking and hurting me very bad and insulting me the entire time while they were hitting. And there are these light posts that they had at the school. They threw me onto that, gave me my back hit and my head, of course. And then they grabbed my arms behind me and pulled them behind me like that, more and more. And I was just screaming for someone to help. Thankfully, when my friends heard me and they pushed, and I'm just glad they showed up. But sadly, when we went after I went to the nurse's office, I went to the vice principals and the principal, and they had us sign out a form of what happened. And what happened is my friends who saved me, they got in trouble. Of course, the people that were bullying me, they got in trouble too, but basically everyone that got in trouble was suspended, but I wasn't. They were suspended, but what I find messed up the most is my friends, who I'm glad stepped up for me, got suspended for like 4 days, and the bullies only got suspended for 2.
So your friends got suspended for being late to class because they helped you?
Yes.
Okay. So, I'm not hearing any, but I'm assuming you didn't get any support from the school?
Nada.
None. Okay. Did you tell your mom? Did you tell your family?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Did they go to the school?
Yeah, especially one time. I was walking home because I had to stay late because my grades were just bombing from all this, what was happening to me. I'm pretty much at F's in almost every class. And I was walking home late because I had to stay late to have some extra work done. I was walking down this street, and this guy, he was in the same middle school. He had a quad. He owned his own quad, and 2 friends from the high school were with him. They were joking around, messing around. I was walking down the path, just down the road. The guy turned on his quad and tried to run me over with his quad. And if it wasn't for his own friends grabbing the handlebars of the quad and hitting the brakes and tearing the key out of the ignition, I probably would have gotten hit by the quad.
So your grades. What were your grades before?
They were fairly good, around B's, C's, and D's, but during the whole time, I just basically bombed. I got F's in practically every class. The only class that I did have a good grade in was from C to D, and stayed that way until I left the school.
So that was going to be my next question. Are you in school now?
I am being homeschooled.
Okay, so you're not in school with social people. Okay, so we've got 2 out of 3 kids that we've talked to who aren't in school anymore. I mean, they're taking steps. This mom, I know she's taking steps and he's being homeschooled, but can't even be in school with the social things. I mean, school is important because you get those, yes, and how to deal with people and how to grow up and how to interact and communicate and things like that. I mean, that is taken away. And I know that Isaac's IQ is pretty high. It's pretty high, and he is not, well, in school he was not given a chance to shine and to reach and to be the best that he could be because of all this stuff, and school staff turning a blind eye, and I'm guessing that your mom didn't get any support from them either, right?
Not really.
Okay. Okay. Is there anything else you want to say? Matt, you can say anything you want.
There's a huge one that's about how the staff just completely ignored anything about bullying, pretty much. And what happened is I had a habit because I always used to read ahead in the social studies class, the history class. I would always read ahead, and I'd already know what the teacher was about to teach, and I always say what help teach and actually teach the class for a short period of time. But I guess the teacher did not like the fact that a student was doing his job for him, and people would just insult me for being an egghead. And sadly, we had assigned seats and we couldn't leave the seats. unless we had to use the restroom or anything like that. But what happened is the student that I used to sit with, she would always smack me full force in the back of the head. And the teacher, at one point when this was going on, he was saying people's grades and saying what the heck they needed to do.